Hi, this is David with EV World News. We talk about electric vehicles, green energy, and the stock markets. And I'm pleased to have Adib Khaldi from Simple Picks with me today. How's it going, Adib?
Hey David, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Always love having you on the show, and lots of good things coming up in the future. You've done a great job talking and bringing some, talk about finance and economics of what's going on in the stock market. And we're going to start off because we just had Tesla earnings, and you know, Tesla has not been looking good since the earnings, and it really earnings calls. You and I both know they're real crapshoot. Doesn't matter how good you do, the earnings can go one way or the other, and it doesn't always make any sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It rarely makes sense. A lot of the times it falls down to sentiment, guidance, direction, a lot of other factors aside from just of course the earnings per share. Obviously that the earnings per share is a huge factor. It's one of the driving forces, but I find that guidance a lot of the times on certain companies is what really moves them because that's what investors have to look forward to or anticipate um, in the future.
When you first came
Um,
on the show,
mhm.
you had said, well, I think we were sitting with Tesla at about 215, and you thought could go up to as high as about 240. It did, and then it came back down, and now we're at 182.95.
Yes,
It's
sir.
really
Well,
it's
we said actually, I think 260. So we got the target of 260, lingered around there for
well,
a
that's
little
right.
while.
We did.
We were buying the other ones as well, Lucid and Rivians and the likes, just because the whole market, it's a sentiment play, trendy. And lo and behold, once we exited, I wasn't interested anymore. It was a short. You and I spoke again just last 2 weeks ago, and Tesla was around 220. I think it was like 220 or 215, 220 maybe. And I said that I don't like it. We're going back to, we're going down to 200. You said, hey, what would somebody do if they wanted to collect some premium? I said, you can write the calls because it ain't coming back up. And yeah, here you are. You would have collected your free premium. If you wanted to bet on it, take a short, like a put, you could have done that as well. Um, Obviously, it exceeded my expectations. I was looking at the 200 mark, but I'm net short on Tesla if I was to take a position. And here we are today, down 12% on earnings report. So definitely battered and bruised. Market cap is sitting still at $580 billion. I think it defends that 500 billion mark. And if I was to, give a prediction here, I know we're using a new program. Let me
Just
just.
says present at the bottom.
Yep, yep. I think I got it. Yes. So, when we look at the overall picture of Tesla, we covered it many different times. As of most recent, when again we got on your show, we like this uptrend here. This uptrend is what we just mentioned is broken, and maybe I'll actually go back to a regular chart so people don't have such congested action. But this is the daily action since then. We haven't been able to see any positivity in Tesla. I had mentioned that this is the new trading range here, following the decline from the 230 and below, since we had gone more bearish on it. And again, nothing in sight yet. Am I a buyer of Tesla here today? No. I drew this big red line in the sand right here around the $150 mark quite a while ago before it's run up to actually $300. So this would have been back in January of 2023. I remember I had bought Tesla. I sold it around the 240, 250 mark. Not quite the top, but we made sure that we exited and highlighted the top around here. A lot of our followers exited Tesla that were long-term holders. Uh, so, what's my outlook? Pretty bleak, as you can see. I'm not very excited by the tone of my voice, and I'm not buying anything yet in terms of EV for Tesla. I will be a buyer around $150, and that's where I think
That's a
it's a
big drop.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
that's that's another.
That's a 50% drop from our recent highs in August.
Yeah, that's really startling to see that happen. So
Yeah, but this is
150.
a great zone. This zone right here is a great zone, and like I said, it builds off that 110 retest that was a major decline in Tesla. Back in November of 22. It fixed itself, came back up to 300. Right now, it's testing the bottom side of that initial run up, and this is where again a lot of the major buyers like myself would be stepping in. So
All right, let's see.
our
So
beloved, our beloved Lucid.
so
Go
I
ahead.
have something kind of interesting. So a few days ago, might have been about a week ago, I
Yes.
was talking about Motley Fool is they have three major predictions for more than doubling the stock price in 2024 of Rivian, Lucid, and Neo. And I just kind of, so we're going to look at all three of those today, but let's go ahead and
I
start with
mean,
Lucid.
it looks like Lucid has caught a bid here. Uh, this is looking like the bottom on Lucid. So, um, is it ready yet? No. When are earnings? The 21st of February for December. So I probably will wait towards earnings.
Mhm.
But I'll be very honest with you. This does look, pretty bottomy here, and yeah, it's doing okay. It's being defended by some good buyers on this bottom side wicks here. So I'm not going to say anything about Lucid. I think this is the bottom. I said last week or 2 weeks ago that I'd start buying around the $3 mark,
Yeah.
which I think is around here. It got a little bit of a bump up to 320, but obviously shot back down. And I think it's doing that same retest as Tesla, but in not the exact same fashion. So where do I see Lucid going forward? Up. And where would I buy Lucid? Here, right now. I would be buying Lucid.
At where? At what price?
Anywhere in this range, $2 to $3. This is I think value. This is
Okay.
this is capitulation for the disbelievers, I believe. This is the area here where you're gonna, if you don't believe in the company, you're getting out right here, and if you do believe in the company, you're buying it here. And we stand to see. I can't tell if it's the bottom for sure, but it looks like a bottom.
Well, like I always say, we know that they're propped up by the Saudis. And to me, if the price got cheap enough, you'd think the Saudis would just keep buying the stock back in.
I think the Saudis are going to start pumping some money. They're going to turn their oil pipes on a little bit longer.
Well, the thing is, to me,
It's a
when you
hedge,
look
right?
at the look at luxury car space, would you think that all of a sudden you could be a new car maker that could come in and compete against Mercedes Benz,
No.
McLaren, um, you know, uh, some high-end brands? When you think about the top end, Lucid's $250,000. I mean,
Excuse me.
it's really hard to fathom coming into that market. And now they're releasing the Gravity, which is their SUV, which is they're hoping to be competitive with the Model Y, but I still think it's going to be more expensive because the Model Y keeps going down in price. But they're talking about maybe a Model 3 competitor. Now, if they released a Model 3 competitor, it would be a lot nicer car than a Model 3, but it might
Hmm.
just be in the same size. It'd probably still be $10,000, $15,000 more expensive, but it
Right.
would be, more in that price range. But they are truly in the luxury car segment of the EV space. There's no question. And a lot of people think that about Tesla, and Tesla is just expensive because it's a high-tech company. They're high-tech products. And Tesla is drastically figuring out how to lower their prices. I've seen some announcements. So the number one cost in an EV is the battery, and battery prices have come down 50% since the start of last year, and they're probably going to do the same thing again, or at least come down another 40 to 60%
Wow.
by middle of next year.
Wow. And
Yeah, so
what is the reason for that? Is it just the increased demand?
no, it's well, I was normally the situation would mean that there's less demand, but
Yeah,
obviously the
I
demand
understand.
for batteries is going up.
Yeah,
But what it is there's just so many more people going into the space, and technology keeps improving.
that's what I
And
assume. Yeah.
so you're probably not really old enough to remember this, but there's a thing called Moore's Law that in computers, this was a thing from like 20 years ago, that every 2 years, for the same price, you could get twice the personal computer of what you could get 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think it still
And
applies till today.
well, I don't know if it applies to computers so much anymore,
Right.
but it really does in the EV space. And so this is one thing too that'll also hurt the price of used EVs is the tech keeps improving very quickly. And so, I mean, you look at it, I've got, a couple of used laptops. They still turn on and, you can get connected to the internet and you can do some things with them, but I couldn't sell them for more than 50 bucks probably. You
Agreed
know,
with you. I got a bunch right here.
yeah, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be hard to replace, but they look impressive because of the size of the unit, the screen and all
Right.
that.
Right.
Yeah. But anyways, so you think Lucid is a buy below $3? And we're talking long-term hold here, not
Yeah.
necessarily to
Oh
hold
yeah.
on and sell it next week.
Oh yeah. No, 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 no. This is again, when you look at the monthly chart, this is the lowest it's been. It's broken all parameters of fair value. Okay, so when you're buying here, you're buying purely on speculation. This is not financial advice, but this is definitely a stock that I, would touch in this zone here. Now, remind you guys, the last time I gave a recommendation on or on Lucid, it was $4.20. It went to $5.30 or $5.50. We got out around $5.20. Um, Here's me put my money where my mouth is again. Just a little bit too early though, so I'm
You want to
not
wait
going
till
to be
earnings.
exactly. I would wait till the earnings, which is probably another couple of weeks. It's about actually a month. But I would nibble here because the smart man would buy it up until earnings and then sell just before earnings. Right? That way you don't have any downside risk if the earnings aren't good. So that's where I see things. Do I say that Lucid's going to pump out of the stratosphere? No,
No.
no. This is where you start a position. This is
You know,
not
the
where you.
problem with Lucid is that regardless of how their earnings report, whether it's an improvement or not, they're still losing money. They're still in cash burn phase.
Absolutely.
And so I always have trouble with that. It's really tough for me to want to go into something that's in that cash burn phase. That's the thing that I like about Tesla. It's not in the cash burn phase anymore,
That's right. Of
you
course.
know, and so it's more mature. But yeah, we had a comment about getting Lucid up. It's like, well, yeah, it should,
I'll
realistically,
try.
it should
I'll
be a
try.
good long-term play. But I'm talking about, is it a good long-term play for the next year?
It,
And,
it
as
is.
opposed to taking an option position.
Well,
Yeah.
look, I'm not a long-term investor, so I can't give
Right, I
any
know that.
like right, not even like my own opinion on a long term. But I'll tell you one thing: from watching your show and from tuning in to everything that you're doing in terms of news about electric vehicles, their advancements, growths, etc. The space is growing. It's evident. It's undeniable, and it's going to continue growing with all the initiatives that the world has taken towards moving in a greener, more sustainable environment and economy. I don't know if it's quite there yet, but when you have the greatest oil economy in the world, like Saudi Arabia, supporting and investing in electric vehicles, you know that this is the start of something that's going to be massive. So
Right.
that's all I would say to anybody who would invest long term. Now, obviously, if you followed Saudi Arabia and invested at $50 or $40 or at the highs, obviously you got suckered into it. But when you're buying it at all time low, okay, that's when you gotta consider it as a long term investment.
But did they? But did they? Did the Saudis really just sell all their stock at $50?
I don't know.
See,
I
I think
haven't
that's
looked
a lot
into
of
it.
it. I think that they actually, well, people say that they have all the shares of it. They actually, they'd already put billions
That's
of
right.
dollars of into it. Then they
That's
sold
right.
off all those shares at that price. So,
Now
you know,
who owns the top? I don't know. Maybe a lot of institutions are here. Maybe a lot of retail is up here. I mean, when I see wicks that look like this, unfortunately, it just means that like a lot of people sold. Okay.
right.
Okay. It just means that a lot of people upon the hype got out
Yeah.
and it wicked all the way down.
Yeah, I see
Then
these
the new
arguments the Saudis lost their shirt. I honestly don't think they did.
no. Well,
They
like I
may have
said,
lost possibilities.
it
They
just
may have
depends
taken
because
paper
maybe
losses.
maybe the Saudis came in here. Maybe they came in on the second round.
Well, the thing is they were in when it was the IPO or before the IPO.
Something.
So that's why I'm saying that. But anyways, let's go on to Rivian.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. Rivian. I mean, a lot of them they look like on the IPOs, all the all the investors just dumped on the market and the retail.
They all look like a downward staircase.
Yeah, man. It's just shows in the integrity, right? It shows the integrity when you look at these charts. Lou said, what did I tell your friend last time? That one guy that you said he had invested. I said I'd wait till $16.
And get
Right?
out.
At $15 now. I would buy it here. Look, sentiment around EV seems to be all the same. They move kind of like together in a way. Obviously, there's leaders of the pack, but yeah, this is bottomy. This is a good time to buy Rivian as well.
No,
I
she
would buy
bought
it
at
here.
26,
It's okay.
and it was not
Can't help
it
the
was
guy,
not pretty. Yeah, but
but I would dollar cost average here.
yeah,
That's me. That's what I see. I see a dollar cost average rate. I mean, my play ended around here. I was done with Rivian around $20, $21. I was
they'd be
done.
better off maybe averaging some in. It's interesting because the Motley Fool thing is thinking it goes to like $40 by the end of the year.
Hey, yeah, of course they're gonna go to $40, but when, Motley Fool? When? That's the real question.
Yeah, well, that was their thought by the end of the year, maybe.
By the end of
But
the year,
by the end of 24,
it's possible. It's definitely
I
possible.
the thing is I don't know what would support that. The thing is they're another company that's still in growth phase. What is interesting is of all EVs in the market, the top rated EV period by owners is the
Yep.
Rivian R1S SUV. Now, that being said, it's an 835 horsepower SUV, so it's probably pretty fun to drive. You know,
R1SS,
R1S, the Rivian
R1S.
R1S SUV is
Yes, you
rated
showed
as
me
the
this
number
last
one.
time, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, and it's under $100,000. I think it's like 85,000.
Yes.
I mean, they're nice looking and they're
Oh,
high
you can.
performance and they're supposed to be really good quality.
The vehicle right here.
Yeah, but
Wow,
anyways,
what a beauty.
yeah. So
I like
you
it.
know,
I actually really like it. It looks very spacious.
oh, I'm sure it is. They
High
are.
quality cabin, quad motors, impressive off-road chops. Costs a pretty penny.
Yes.
No Apple CarPlay. Jittery ride.
Is that what it said? Jittery ride.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and here's the competitors.
yeah. Yeah, it's funny to see some of that, isn't it?
Cadillac is in the EV market right now.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
So they've got the Lyric, which you almost can't find. And if you can find it,
I've
they've
never
marked it
seen
up an
one.
extra $10,000.
Right.
And so this is one of the things. So Tesla is the first real car manufacturer in the United States to sell outside the dealer network. And they've done spectacularly well. And a lot of the thing is people say they're not hassled buying from Tesla.
Right.
And you're buying this Cadillac Lyric through traditional. I think the demand is there, but people don't want to pay the extra $10,000. Whereas if you went and you bought a Tesla, you're not dealing with that. And I read about people posting their stories about stuff like that all the time. Oh yeah, and there's the BMW iX. But
That's probably a winner in its category.
yeah, well, and then there's a Cadillac Escalade for this year coming out that is starts out at about $150,000 and it's 650 horsepower and almost 600 miles of range.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, it's a huge deal. Or was it 750 horsepower? It might have been 750 horsepower.
We're only going to get better in this market. I mean, this is great. It's impressive. I'm looking forward to, the next 5 years in EV. I think it's going to be great
Well, this is what I keep saying. Every couple
for
of
all the
years
market
you
entrants.
see new tech. But and then on the flip side, I've seen some investors who've told me it's like, look, I love my Model X, I love all the high tech features, but I kind of wish I had a gas car that had all the same features. If Tesla made a gas car, it would be unbelievable,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And it's just
Yeah.
like I thought it was kind of
Just
funny. And
put
it's
all the
like,
tech, put all the Tesla tech in there.
yeah, and into a gas car, and it was really kind of interesting because it is interesting to see because Musk argues that they're a tech company and not a car company, and they're
Yes.
starting to get priced down into being a car company.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So,
Correct.
anyways, so what are your thoughts on
Well, look,
Rivian? You're
the
thinking dollar
EV
cost
world.
average in this?
Yeah, I would buy Rivian here if I was your buddy,
Hmm.
and I was at first entry in at $26. Hopefully, he didn't go in all in with his portfolio, so he has some dry powder to buy some
Hmm.
more around here. This is where I would start buying more in. So, what's my weekly sentiment on EV for majority of these stocks? I like them. I think they're gonna all get an uptick this next week, and we stand to see the rest. Am I going to put my money where my mouth is? Not this week. Why? I think this is going to be just a consolidation week, but we're going to get an uptick. So it's not a major move for me. It may be a major move, but when Tesla loses 12%, you want to kind of wait a week or two before you start seeing some actual upside or buyers come back in the market. Right now, the trend is negative, but as I say on a lot of these stocks, it's where you want to be entering here. Do I like to enter and hold? No. So that's why in next week's iteration, based on the charts, will probably be looking to take some long positions in these companies.
So I've got another one for you. We're going to,
Yeah,
even
of
though I
course.
know you're not a big Chinese fan, we're going to look at Neo
No.
again. I know you're
Neo?
not a fan of Neo, but it
No,
was
man.
it was Motley Fool's third pick to
I've
dabble in the
never
EV
made
space.
money with Chinese stocks. That's why I'm not a fan. I've just always,
I
for
understand.
for as much success I've found in the U.S. markets, I've never made money with a Chinese stock. I've bought like four of them, and I'm down on every single one. And they're all good companies, like Alibaba and the likes of it, and Tencent. Like they're good companies, but unfortunately, I just couldn't catch a bid, man. So I'm not a big fan of China in terms of their stocks.
Mhm.
Neo, um, oh my God, she's battered. I mean, sure. I mean,
It looks
sure.
exactly like the last two. The chart for the last month looks exactly
Yeah,
like the last two.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but this is just this one's even battered even more. This one even. But look, it's finding a bit around here, and if it can break out above 6.5, there's a chance. I think they're all gonna consolidate and go up this week. Consolidate and up. I don't
Okay.
expect it goes down. Now, when you look at a weekly chart, there's just nothing there. Like even if I want to buy this, I'm shaky when I'm buying this. I'm shaky. It's not like there's like a clear uptrend there. There's an obvious big sell off around $8.50 here. So
Okay.
nothing exciting.
It's really interesting to see this. So I got one other that we never talked about before. This
Yeah, of
is
course.
Lion Electric. They're LEV for Lion Electric Vehicles, LEV. Now, they just announced yesterday that they've commenced customer deliveries of its newly launched Lion D school buses in California. The Lion D, which addresses the largest vehicle type within the school bus segment, offers seating capacity for 83 children in a range of 155 miles on a single charge. And let's see,
Hey, it
limited.
looks a lot better than the others.
What's its market cap look like?
Market cap's about 405 million right now.
Okay, so that's bigger than like say Greenland Tech that we've been looking at by quite a
Absolutely.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I mean they're okay. Their chart looks pretty sound. They've been in this long range since June of this year. The top of that range is $2.25. The bottom of that range is $1.53.
Hmm.
It's about in the middle right now at 180, more so towards the bottom side of the range. What I'd like to see on this stock is a continuous uptrend like this, kind of alongside this red line. Now, if we do fall out of that red line for a little while and come back up and test but fail to come back, that's
Hmm.
she's a goner. But if we do come and continue to be above this line, or can actually fall out of it, come back up and pierce through, then this stock is going to be on a nice trajectory. What do I suspect is going to happen? I think it continues to be on this upward trajectory here because it seems like it's a low market cap, and it seems like they've been hitting their estimates, or actually surprising or surpassing their estimates for earnings every single quarter for this last year, actually since 2022. So I'm going to say they continue to do so. And if you notice on every single earnings call here, they've actually kind of got an uptick with the exception of two of them. The last, four earnings calls here, it got a little bit of an uptick, held it down. This one got it an uptick. This one got it a little bit of an uptick. So it seems like this stock always runs up towards its earnings and
Hmm.
then either surprises and stays in place, but kind of like slowly like diminishes back down. And the reason I say that is probably because the highlight of their news is around earnings, and then there's not much to
No
look forward
news.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then people just sell it down until earnings are coming back up. So
I was
uh
looking at their 5-year chart, and on
yeah,
their 5-year chart, they were at $26 at one time, and now they're a buck 78. You know how I always talk about the naked short sale attacks? This
yeah,
company
man.
looks like it was being naked short sailed back in
Possible.
21 all the way
Very possible.
into end of 22.
Because the thing is, if you have a little bit of insider info and you know this company's not rolling anything out for the next couple of months, you just go naked short them because they're not rolling anything out. They don't have anything to just drive demand against you shorting their stock. So yeah, not a strategy of mine, but I know a lot of people made money doing this.
No, it's kind of crazy to see that. We always talk a little bit about Greenland because I of the show's Greenland effect because they were at
Mhm.
about 250 when I had the guy on the show,
Yep.
and I haven't looked at them today, but I know they're doing all right since yeah, they're 355 now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're up 40% since I interviewed the guy.
Oh
Now,
yeah. I remember
um,
that. It was $2.20.
yeah, what's really funny is I had somebody send me a message telling me the CEO is part of a scammer family. And it was really kind of interesting to see because I started doing a little research. So his dad is actually the chairman, maybe the CEO of Centro, which is CENN. And that one is one that I know had naked short sale attacks on it, but they're making electric delivery vans, like regular size like Ford E350 size vans. So look at CENN. This is kind of an interesting one, but this is actually like it's called Centro Electric Group, and they're on the Nasdaq, traded $1.19, and they've had they were
Wow.
they were one time.
Oh my God. What the hell?
Yeah,
What
they
is this?
really
Well,
plummeted.
why were they like 10,000? What am I looking
Yeah,
at?
I don't know if you're looking at the max
Ah,
years. It looks like they were worth $10 billion a share at some point.
yeah,
So
this is
I'm
really
apparently,
scary.
yeah. I mean, it's the craziest
What's this number? I've
numbers.
never seen this number in my life. I don't know how to read it.
No, I've never seen
I
that on
don't
a
know,
stock chart
David. This is
before.
scary. I don't know. I mean, obviously, this is attributed to reverse splits and uh, m- uh, splits and reverse splits and a lot of things. Like the chart could be incorrectly showing, and I believe that's what's
Right.
happening.
No,
But
there's
there's
definitely
been a
reverse
lot of
splits.
dabbling. Well, it's just been a lot of dabbling going on. That when I look at something like this, I just don't even want to look at it. I just go away.
Their last reverse was in December 8th of this, last month.
Yeah, this is crazy stock. I mean, shares afloat 21 million and 36 million is their market cap. On average, they trade 80 grand a day. Uh, just not something I really want to touch, or even
No,
care.
but it's funny because this one looks so battered, and then you look at Greenland, and Greenland looks healthy.
Yeah. Well, they learned from their first
Yeah,
rodeo, right?
right. Apparently,
This, this
apparently.
this chart broke my thing. I can't even like my system doesn't even know what to do
What to
anymore. I
do?
gotta I gotta go to like a real chart. Hold on a
Or you
second.
need a bigger monitor.
Oh, I need a bigger monitor. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that crazy? I was looking at that and it's like, what the hell is that
Pretty
max?
crazy, crazy,
The
man.
max lifetime for the damn thing, and it's
Yeah.
has some just bizarre numbers, and like the shares would be worth $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Nope.
it really makes you wonder. No, not interested in Centro, but it's really been flat forever.
That's what
You know,
happens when you have no news.
what the thing is, they do have news occasionally. I'm pretty sure they're delivering some electric vans and stuff over in Europe, and like, but oh, and they're making autonomous driving vehicles. They're making little like boxes on wheels that just drive from place to place and deliver stuff. And they're
Hmm,
delivering them, but it's really
interesting.
just bizarre to see such a strange company. Yeah. So, but it's interesting because we like Greenland, and it's just so funny to look at this one and it's like, whoa.
I
Um,
like Greenland. I think Greenland's doing a great job.
yeah. Well, like I said before, they're in the right space, and they're the leader in their space, and so that goes a long ways, and hopefully that'll give them,
Man, when you
a
and I
chance to
spoke, it
survive.
was literally their bottom. Like that's crazy.
I know, isn't it? No, I feel quite responsible for them doing better. You know, and I hope they
Me too.
realize that.
Me too.
Anyways, Adib, thanks for coming on today. That's
Yes,
all
sir.
we've got, and I think this was a good show. And it's always really interesting to see because from week to week you've had we discuss a lot of the same stocks over and over again. There really aren't a lot of EV stocks. I mean, we could talk about Toyota and Ford and all the other companies in the car business, but it's interesting to see because you've been pretty damn accurate. You said, "Hey, don't buy this one right now," and your opinion changes. And I've watched you trade in your group, and it's interesting kind of to see how that's played off.
Appreciate it,
Anyways,
David. And we're happy to come on every single week and share our thoughts as much as we can.
anyways,
Thank you.
folks, thanks for watching today. Please leave us comments. Let us know if there's any stock you'd like us to be doing because we only do this particular episode on Fridays. And please like it so that it'll get shown to more people. Anyways, otherwise, have a great day.
Thank you all.